Hey guys, welcome to Digit.in and this is our review of the Honor 7X. Now kicking things off with the build, the Honor 7X is as premium as the Mi A1 and that isn't a bad thing. The smartphone has a metal build with curved edges. It is ever so slightly taller than the Mi A1 and thanks to the 18:9 form factor, it has thin bezels on all sides. The top and bottom bezels are quite thick and the phone has an attractive design. These bezels are thin enough that they add to the aesthetics of the smartphone and yet thick enough so that your palms don't accidentally touch the screen if you're trying to reach onto the top corners during single-handed use. Now the top and bottom bezels are thick enough to be comfortable to hold the phone in landscape mode for watching movies and playing games. At the back you have a fingerprint sensor which is conveniently located. You also have the dual camera setup which is protruding. Speaking of the design, the smartphone has the standard candy bar 18:9 form factor we'd expect in this price range, and the curved edges make it comfortable to hold with one hand, although reaching all corners of the phone isn't easy with single-handed use. Overall, the build and design of the Honor 7X is good. The 18:9 display is a good addition when compared to other phones in the same price range. We face no issues with the display on everyday use. Apps that haven't been optimized for the new aspect ratio show a black bar at the bottom with the option to stretch it to full screen. There are, however, some apps and games like Asphalt 8 that run in full screen and take advantage of the new display. There are some 18:9 specific videos on YouTube as well, and if you are watching the new Avengers Infinity War trailer on the device, you can simply pinch to fit and enjoy the trailer in full screen. If there is a complaint, it's with the audio quality of the speaker. Watching YouTube content including movie trailers, cinematic video game trailers, talk shows, TED Talks and more is very underwhelming. The background score of the movie trailer and the vocals seem muddled. The same can be said for the music videos. When taking calls on the speakerphone, the voice is clear but the maximum volume is lower than what I'd expect from a smartphone. Coming back to the display, it has a maximum luminance of 417 lux. It isn't the brightest display out there and sunlight visibility does suffer, but if you are going to read web pages or Kindle books, you should be fine with auto brightness. You may want to bump up the brightness manually when watching movies though. For those of you that are finicky about color temperature of the device, you can manually change it between default, warm and cold. You also have the ability to manually adjust it to your preference. There's even an eye comfort mode that essentially filters out blue light. Overall, the display is very good and supports a pretty wide color gamut. You will enjoy watching movies on it, but audio is an issue. Coming to the performance, running everyday apps like Facebook, WhatsApp, YouTube, Netflix and more is a breeze. The smartphone multitasks well and stutters only when you are running heavy games and apps back to back. The biggest downside to the performance of the smartphone was gaming. Casual games like Farm Hero Saga ran well, but graphically heavy games like Asphalt 8 showed patchy frame rates. When there are a bunch of cars on screen, the frame rate really drops. If you are one that wants to play graphically heavy games on the device, you may want to look at other options. Overall, the performance of the device is not groundbreaking, but it has just enough to keep the average user happy. There aren't any troubling heating issues with the smartphone either. Moving to the camera, the Honor 7X has a dual camera setup with one 16-megapixel camera and the other 2-megapixel camera. Photos clicked in well-lit situations have colors that are true to source. However, there are smartphones with better cameras. Low-light photos also present the problem of noise, especially when the light is really low. Since the smartphone has a dual camera setup, you'd expect it to click good bokeh photos. However, that isn't the case. The bokeh photos are average at best. Using the phone for about a week, the smartphone can last you a little more than a 9 to 5 workday with above average use. It lasted for about 8.5 hours on the PC Mark battery test, which isn't the best in this category, but it isn't bad either. For a 13,000 rupee device, the Honor 7X isn't the best option out there. It has a great display and good battery life, and overall performance is average at best. It loses out to the Mi A1 as far as the camera is concerned, and graphically heavy games like Asphalt 8 stutter on the device. You can consider it if you aren't a heavy smartphone user and like reading content or watching movies on the go, as the display on the smartphone is indeed good. But if the camera is something you are finicky about and aren't a fan of skinned OSes, then you may want to consider your options. Thank you for tuning in, and for more videos like this one, you can subscribe to our channel.